So there's some code on the screen. Pause if you want to look at any of it at any certain moment, but really all that's happening is that I'm setting up the event that is coming up right before the boss fight. So yeah, that's all I really need to say at the moment. I would have 3 options because I'm not using like multiple options which are available in PERM, or having more options for the moment, even though there's some PERM stuff here. But for the most part, it's all set to default at the moment. So yeah, not really much else to say as I move on here. But if my audio sounds a little different, it's because I tried to tweak something in between now and the last recording I did. So as we randomize things, we're actually going to play on the Nightly Aura backstory. So we will be playing with Kana, but we'll also be playing with Goizo. So remembering things as we move on, well, that's for me to find out. Funny thing to note is that as we play Kana here, Nightly Aura please, yeah, the max stamina, max reason graphic is always on Kana. But as we get into Goizo Nightly Aura Kana into a template run, again, just made the boss graphic, so not really any changes really, but aside from tweaking the all damage to 2, but charisma, strength, light, dexterity, knowledge, and maybe attack Shisan. And let me know if the audio sounds a bit too loud, too low, or anything else really, because I'm doing some tweaks, trying to test out recording other games. So yeah, that's all I'll mention for the moment. So but as always, we'll start off with template here. So we get looking for template, coma, bulletin, teacher, and fetus. I think we do bulletin. I know I said I always do template, but I want to try taking template later with the -2 all change, and that's really all I have to say at the moment. We can grab funds. What we don't want to do, right, well, what I don't want to do, let me correct myself, is go visit the tree. Oftentimes when I use the history club for a small spell or something, I do often prefer to use the tree, so I'm not spending as much doom. That being said, I will still prepare if I feel like it's necessary. Now, unfortunately, we didn't find a weapon here. And if there was a weapon, I probably missed it. I'm not even tired, but that's, if you didn't see one of my posts, I was tired for a non-World of War recording, and you'll never see that footage, because, boy, it was bad. Granted, there is one episode out on another game right now, where I'm relatively tired, so I watched a little bit of it and I kind of cringed. So, but it wasn't like, I promised you, the lost recording that you'll never see is a lot worse. So, Book of Gore and Memory Extract. But yeah, the main thing as we switch back to World of Horror here is that yes, I did buff the player. I'm gonna tweak this OBS thing down really quickly, but yeah, it's by the way, we're Kana, but hey. But yeah, 3 all damage to -2 all damage is quite the difference, I feel. You won't feel it until you're in battle for at least 3 turns, but even 2 turns, losing 6 stamina and reason over 4 stamina for a reason, I feel is a lot worse most of the time. But again, I don't know how other players deal with it. I actually haven't seen a lot of players run into a situation like that. Also, I've never actually seen this enemy in particular, but actually, I think I have. It's just that it's because of how the graphic changed. I think I've seen it before. But as we try to do our best to move on, I think I'm just going to go all out here. So 90, 90, 90, 73.2%. Why do I say 73.2%? Is that correct? Anywho. We got bonus damage, by the way. That's what I was, in the back of my mind, I was like, don't I get bonus damage? But anyway, police station into the village. Let's hope that I actually added 2 village investigations to the thingamajiggy, because I just realized here and now that I have a linked event. Also, I didn't do bulletin, so I have to say no here. But I think I have 2 village events. One village event is a linked event, and the second one isn't technically an investigation. It's just the ending. So maybe I do have to just immediately go from forest to, or remove the forest, or have the investigation that's currently going into the forest go into the village. But again, we'll find out. I think I lost the bat, by the way. But yeah, into template we go. So, still haven't worked on the splash graphic. I did try to make a splash graphic, but I think in some cases, especially if you're not especially, but if you are feeling lazy and you want to get a better, or not a Well, yeah, I guess a better splash title. You could theoretically just use make art for the mystery, except for the splash, and then use that art in the splash again with some modifications, of course. That's how I think I did. That's how I did Valentine's, I believe. So for Valentine's, if you don't know that mystery, all you need to know is that I pretty much use the same graphics left and right, and then probably just reference some of the sigils from World of Horror just alone, and then put them in the graphic. But more intensive, more unique graphics are literally just the things you would see in PERM. If you're not playing on PERM, though, then they do look a little special. But yeah, just noting here, 1 forest investigation into 2 village, maxed out level forest, by the way. But yeah, let's see here. I think this is a regular village investigation, right? It is. So 1 village investigation, and then 2 is this is the linked event into the boss fight. That being said, what do I actually want for my stats? I think I'm still gonna take strength and try to brace. Butterfly knife, dexterity wouldn't. I don't think it's bad at all, but I just prefer strength. Also, I didn't make a graphic here because that's gonna be a little longer of an event. Shrug, that's all I have to say at the moment. So, the other reason I wanted to go into this boss fight is because I actually didn't check this version of the graphic that I had yet with the game itself. So, basically, there are some height and width requirements to take care of. Like, for example, if you have an enemy graphic that's similar to the one I'm showing you here, and it goes a little high, it's going to be cut off by the nameplate and whatnot. And there's like a few pixels on the bottom here of the launch sequence that cuts off, you know, the bottom of the graphic. But for the most part, most of the things you'll be doing is fine. But the first third on the right side of the screen is mostly going to be where you want the boss graphic to be. Again, you can add some bottom portions as Kana goes down once, thankfully. I think it was just once, right? Because that should not have procced twice. Yeah. That being said, we have 53% Doom going into our 3rd mystery, and I didn't do the, again, the final graphics yet. Again, working primarily on the boss graphics. Basically the meat of the mystery, if that makes any sense, rather than the splash, which is the intro, or the ending graphic, which is also, I think, can be important, especially if you have multiple endings. I wasn't planning on having multiple endings, but I guess we'll find out. Coma's probably going to be our last mystery, and I hear an echo in my ears, but well, we're dealing with it now. So, as we move on here, we'll do our best to survive. But basically, just still working on template. I actually did try to release the character I was working on and the backstory in Old God, but I wanted to work on the character first, except I made a mistake, so I thankfully did not release the character yet. And if I still make a mistake, well, I'm going to be quite sad. Nice missed attack. What is our accuracy? 90%? Well, 50-50. To hit all 6 attacks in a row. But anywho, yeah, so going into I guess we can just talk about Kana for the rest of this thing, because yeah, template didn't really get any gameplay worthy changes. But if you want to look at some, I unfortunately messed up my GMP, so I did not get to show you the what do you call it? There's a process. There's actually a thing to do, a word for it, but yeah, it's fine. Basically how I made the graphic, but again, I think I closed GIMP, so aside from showing you, what I would normally do is basically save drafts of the layers that I'm working on, and then show you each layer, but I didn't even do that. So I don't even have a recording, and I don't have the layers to show the drafts. So, shrug, talking about Kana. That being said, I do think Kana is a very powerful character in themselves. The fact that they don't lose to stamina and reason, and yeah, the Doom increase may seem like a lot, but if you're not playing on Harbinger, yes, it's not a lot. If you are playing on a Harbinger, you do kind of have to be aware, but usually from what I see, it's not so bad. It's just that I am not making Kana work as well. So, theoretically speaking, Kana not having any personal perks does hurt to some extent, but it's not the end-all be-all. That being said, I think we need to try and one-shot this student here. So, library, drink. We can drink the milk for stamina. Afterward, though, don't think there's much else I can do. So, let's move on. Had to do some OBS magic in the background because I wanted to see if I can fix something. I don't think I did. So, just go for 12 damage. It's a 2-turn anyway, and we're going to put Sensor Bunny on screen and move on with our lives. That being said, yeah, we can brace into teacher attack, but yeah, Kana themselves. I've talked about Kana to some extent, I think, recently. I feel like I've talked about Kana recently. But aside from any exploits, I do think Kana is a pretty solid character, if not a great character. And not just for the exploits. So, shrug. Really quickly, for those who don't know, basically Kana's max stamina, max reason being locked means that they can use certain spells and effects pretty much infinitely. But I personally don't like to do it just as a house rule. Like if someone threw down money to like race a speed run or something, then I would probably do it. But I would probably just abuse Kana's max stamina, max reason. But aside from like weird challenges like that, so I guess another band-aid fix. I talked about band-aid fixes to, I guess, spells to not work with Kana. Theoretically speaking, you can also make it so that Kana has a self-unique effect that whenever max stamina or max reason would change, Doom increases. Basically, Doom is a pretty good, not band-aid fix. There's another word for it here, but I'm losing my words at the moment. So, I guess I'll just leave it at that. Heal stamina, move on. Now, I could rest, but resting is actually not going to be as good if I can take all damage. I got a little bamboozled because I swear I saw a 12 on dexterity or something. But anywho, I don't think it looked like perception. Anywho, I know I rolled a 12. Right, I'm pretty sure I rolled a 12. We have to also visit the monument at some point, but as I just said, we don't have a lot of Doom to spare. So, I think, yeah, that shopping I did earlier, I should have been like prepared for myself that with Kana to die at least 3 or 4 times. So that dying does mean I probably should have just picked up my thingy sooner. Also, I just realized that since I'm playing on Nightly Aura, Kana doesn't really care. So really, Nightly Aura has no effect, because I don't think I'm doing anything else with Nightly Aura at the moment. So we take the reason damage and hope that the monument asks for a reason to kind of get our Doom back. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So I'm just gonna keep doing the monument. And we're going to hope that we never run into out of funds or lose any more stamina, but shrug, right? Yeah, so considering that we're playing with... I just took the stamina damage there because I'm just going to deal with it. But, things I forgot I was going to say. Nice luck check. I think we die here. I would put money down that I die here, but... whether or not I make it past the final mystery, well, there's like 2-3 investigations left. I probably will. We also got an occult diary at some point, and we actually need to fight this. So, guess we're gonna gamble, try and survive, do our best to survive. I don't want to do a regular attack, so we're gonna do this. Throw the empty bottle because we have no more stuff. I know I have the soft drink, but that needs to be saved for the lighthouse because Kana's stats are pretty low. So, desperate, guaranteed prep. I think we just kick here, because we already get 12 damage on a strong, or 11, or 10. Either way, we do enough damage, but 13 HP. But, Occult Diary, certainly, might as well drink the soft drink, and we'll keep these things on us. So, I should actually sell the library notes to be safe here, so we don't run into out of funds, but we'll see. Now, if I get time skip at the end of this, sadness happens. Oh, I just realized... We also have Memory Extract, and we have Book of Gore. Never mind, I'm going absolutely crazy. I completely forgot, by the way, that I had those 2 effects. That being said, I think we still survive here. So, yeah, we're going to be losing Reason, but we do have Book of Gore. So, and we have Memory Extract, and I don't particularly need to level up. In fact, we won't even get to level up, because we'll die to Reason beforehand. So, instead, we just do all of this. We have Book of Gore to help us out with, and off we go. So, I think I actually, funny enough, survived this run. This was a really bad run, strategy-wise, so there was... if you had to ask whether or not I deserved to survive this run, the answer would be no, but we'll deal. So, Book of Gore can't really do much to us. I'm sure there's something it could do, but we should be pretty okay. So yeah, without further ado, we just bumble into a run, and I'll work on more graphics, but also, I think, expand the final event in template by the next episode, but we'll find out. So, without further ado, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, you know what to do. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye!